Welcome, dear viewers, to another deep dive into the utterly fascinating, often baffling, world of American football. Today, we're not talking about who's winning now, because frankly, that changes with the wind, or a questionable penalty call. No, today we're celebrating the endurance. The sheer, stubborn refusal of certain teams to just disappear. These are the franchises that have embedded themselves so deeply into the American consciousness, they've practically achieved immortal status. Even when they're terrible, they're still there, like that one distant relative who always shows up to Thanksgiving, uninvited, and somehow still manages to eat all the gravy. We're counting down the teams that have mastered the art of prolonged relevance, for better or worse. Let's begin the descent into gridiron immortality, shall we? Coming in at number 7, we have the New York Giants. A team that perfectly embodies the idea that you only need to be truly great once every decade or so to remain firmly entrenched in the national conversation. They are, after all, from New York, which naturally amplifies everything, including their often mediocre stretches. Yet, just when you're ready to write them off, they pull off a Super Bowl victory against an historically dominant team, not once, but twice. It's almost as if they thrive on chaos and proving everyone wrong, especially when everyone includes teams like the invincible New England Patriots. A truly bizarre strategy, but one that has somehow worked. The Giants have this peculiar knack for being utterly forgettable for long stretches, only to then transform into world beaters during the playoffs. It's a marketing strategy, perhaps? Keep expectations low, then deliver a blockbuster surprise. Their fan base, bless their hearts, endure years of disappointment with the stoic patience of someone waiting for a delayed subway. But then, boom, an unexpected championship, and suddenly, they're yelling, "We told you so." It's a cycle of despair and improbable triumph that perfectly encapsulates the New York Minute ethos. Everything happens fast, even their entire competitive window. And then it's gone again, leaving us all wondering what just happened. Sliding into the number 6 spot, we have the Chicago Bears. A franchise so steeped in history, they practically invented the sport, or at least started calling themselves monsters of the Midway when it was still quite new. Their legacy is built on defense, grit, and an almost religious devotion to finding a quarterback who isn't just good enough. Spoiler alert, they're still looking. 4 decades. Their 1985 team is spoken of in hushed, reverent tones, a singular, glorious anomaly in a sea of, well, a lot of average. They've essentially been coasting on the fumes of that one historic season for longer than most people have been alive. The Bears fan base is a peculiar beast, conditioned to expect spectacular defensive plays and utterly soul-crushing offensive futility. They are eternally optimistic, even as history repeatedly demonstrates that hope, in Chicago, is a limited-time offer. Yet, they show up, week after week, bundled against the frigid winds off Lake Michigan, clinging to the romantic notion of their team being tough and physical. It's a testament to loyalty, or perhaps just a mild form of seasonal affective disorder induced by decades of missed field goals. They endure, because someone has to keep the spirit of the '85 Bears alive, even if it's only in their collective, frostbitten memories. At number 5, we arrive at the San Francisco 49ers. Ah, the Niners. For a good chunk of history, they were the very definition of West Coast sophistication, effortlessly racking up Super Bowls with legendary quarterbacks and even more legendary coaches. They had Joe Montana, Jerry Rice, Steve Young, a veritable who's who of football royalty. Their dynasty was so smooth, so efficient, you almost forgot they were playing a violent contact sport. Fast forward to today, and while still competitive, they've adopted a new tradition, reaching the NFC Championship, only to suffer a truly heartbreaking, often bizarre, defeat. It keeps things interesting, I suppose. The 49ers, it seems, have perfected the art of near misses and dramatic collapses in recent memory. They'll build a roster brimming with talent, dominate their division, look utterly unstoppable, and then, in a crucial moment, something truly improbable will happen to snatch defeat from the jaws of victory. It's a testament to their enduring quality that they keep getting back to those moments, but one can only imagine the collective sigh of resignation from their loyal followers when the game inevitably twists in an agonizing fashion. They're a perennial contender, just one who seems cursed by the football gods with a flair for the dramatic, and not always in a good way. Next up, at number 4, are the Pittsburgh Steelers. Now, if you're looking for consistency, a team that almost pathologically refuses to have a truly bad season, the Steelers are your guys. They represent the rugged, blue-collar spirit of their city, building teams on defense, a punishing run game, and a steady stream of quarterbacks who are somehow always just good enough to keep them competitive. They've famously never had a losing season under Mike Tomlin, a feat that would be impressive for any team, let alone one operating in the brutal AFC North. It's almost boringly competent, if competence could ever be boring. The Steelers are renowned for their 6 Super Bowl championships, a number that's politely flashed at anyone who dares to question their status. Their fan base, a global phenomenon known for waving the iconic terrible towel, expects nothing less than contention every single year. It's an unspoken agreement: the team provides competitive football, and the fans provide unwavering, slightly intimidating, support. The irony is, for all their consistency, their most recent Super Bowl wins feel like a distant memory to the younger generation, yet the expectation remains ironclad. It's a marvelous study in sustained organizational competence, spiced with an occasional late-season collapse that reminds us they are, in fact, still human. What truly makes the Steelers enduring is their quiet dominance. They don't often make splashy free agent signings or engage in dramatic offseason sagas. Instead, they draft well, develop talent, and maintain a consistent coaching philosophy. It's the kind of pragmatic, no-nonsense approach that wins games, but perhaps doesn't generate endless clickbait. Their enduring relevance isn't built on flash, but on a relentless, methodical pursuit of excellence. It's almost refreshing in an era of constant hyperbole, if you can appreciate the subtle art of just being good. 4 decades. Without much fuss. It's almost suspicious how consistently unsuspicious they are. Crashing into the number 3 spot, the Green Bay Packers. The very concept of this team enduring is, frankly, astounding. A professional sports franchise owned by its fans, nestled in a city so small it makes most suburbs look bustling, yet they boast a legacy that rivals the biggest markets. It's charming, in a way, like a really well-funded local high school team that somehow keeps beating the national champions. They've had a ridiculously good run of quarterback play for the last 3 decades, which certainly helps, but their entire existence defies modern NFL logic. It's less a team, more a cultural phenomenon, a quirky American experiment that just kept working. The Packers have this uncanny ability to transition from one Hall of Fame quarterback to another, almost seamlessly. Favre to Rodgers, and now with Jordan Love showing flashes of brilliance, it's a lineage that makes other franchises openly weep with envy. It's almost unfair. This consistent, elite quarterback play has papered over countless other team deficiencies, allowing them to remain contenders year after year. Their fans, naturally, treat Lambeau Field like a holy site, showing up in freezing temperatures with cheeseheads proudly displayed. It's a testament to tradition, and perhaps a touch of delusion, that a team from Green Bay, Wisconsin, can maintain this level of national adoration. The enduring appeal of the Packers isn't just about winning, though they do plenty of that. It's about the small-town charm, the communal ownership, the sheer stubbornness of a cold-weather team thriving in a league increasingly dominated by massive media markets. They're a relic, in the best possible way, a living museum piece of what professional football used to be, before it became a global corporate behemoth. And yet, they hold their own. It's a narrative that appeals to the romantic in all of us, or at least the part that appreciates an underdog story, even when that underdog consistently fields Hall of Fame talent. Truly, an enduring enigma. Alright, brace yourselves. At number 2, the Dallas Cowboys. America's team. A moniker they adopted, or perhaps were bestowed with, during their glory days, and one they've clung to with the tenacity of a particularly stubborn barnacle, despite decades of evidence to the contrary. They are, without a doubt, the most talked about, most analyzed, and most infuriatingly relevant team in the NFL, regardless of their actual on-field performance. Their enduring appeal isn't based on recent success, unless you count consistently underperforming expectations, but on pure, unadulterated brand recognition and the absolute spectacle of Jerry Jones's operation. It's like a reality TV show, but with shoulder pads. The Cowboys haven't reached a Super Bowl since the mid-90s, a fact that's often conveniently overlooked by their most ardent supporters and the media circus that surrounds them. Yet, every single year, they are declared Super Bowl contenders before a single snap. It's a magical illusion, sustained by marketing prowess and the undeniable charisma of their owner. Their games are always primetime events, their players are household names, and their fan base is as passionate as they are divided. They're the ultimate enduring enigma, a team that consistently fails to live up to its own hype, yet never loses its grip on the national sports conversation. Pure, unadulterated, glorious absurdity. What truly sets the Dallas Cowboys apart is how they've transcended mere football to become a cultural institution. The star logo is recognizable globally, their cheerleaders are iconic, and the sheer amount of discourse generated by their existence could power a small nation. Their enduring relevance is less about their win-loss record and more about their sheer, unyielding presence. They are always there, lurking in the headlines, dominating sports talk radio, and somehow, always finding a way to disappoint their massive, expectant fan base just enough to fuel another year of "this is our year" optimism. It's a masterclass in brand management, masquerading as a football team. And finally, at number 1, the absolute apex of absurd endurance, the New England Patriots. For 2 decades, they were not just a football team, they were an unstoppable force of nature, a glitch in the matrix, collecting Super Bowl rings with the nonchalance of a teenager collecting social media likes. Belichick and Brady formed a partnership so dominant, it broke the sport. But their true enduring absurdity comes now, post-Brady, post-Belichick era struggles, and yet, they remain perpetually relevant. Not for winning, mind you, but for the sheer narrative weight of their former glory, the endless comparisons, and the lingering question, will they ever return? It's a tragedy, a comedy, and a soap opera all rolled into one. The Patriots' current state is a masterclass in living under the colossal shadow of past achievements. Every bad snap, every missed tackle, every coach's decision is now filtered through the lens of would Brady have done that, or Belichick would never. It's a burden, surely, but also a guarantee of enduring conversation. They are discussed, analyzed, and scrutinized far more than a currently struggling team has any right to be, simply because of who they were. Their endurance isn't just about their fan base, but about the entire league's collective obsession with their former invincibility. They are the benchmark, even when they're failing to meet it themselves. So, the New England Patriots claim the top spot, not necessarily for current dominance, but for their ability to command attention, debate, and fervent discussion long after their undisputed reign. Their story now is less about winning and more about the ongoing saga of a fallen empire, the slow, agonizing decay of what was once perfect. It's a story everyone watches, whether out of schadenfreude or hope for a glorious resurrection. And that, my friends, is the ultimate form of enduring relevance. To be so deeply ingrained in the fabric of the sport that even your struggles become must-watch television. Bravo, Patriots! Bravo for making even mediocrity fascinating.